What's cooking sapiens? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Arham and I'm a 5th year medical student at the University of Oslo in Norway. Now, since this video is already about time management and saving time, I will not be using any time on a fancy introduction. So yeah, let's just save you and myself some time and jump straight into the video. The Eisenhower Matrix is basically a technique that I came across while reading this book called Make Time, which is like a must read if you want to get into time management and really get efficient at that. So this technique was actually invented by the 34th US president called Dwight Eisenhower. Okay, I did it. Wow. Who was also an army general during the World War II. So during the war, he had to take multiple important decisions every single day, right? So all these decisions were important, but he had to sort of prioritize his attention, focus, and energy towards these tasks. So how was he exactly supposed to, prioritize all these important tasks in a single day? And this is where he came up with this extremely game-changing strategy for time management called the Eisenhower Matrix, where you sort of prioritize tasks according to urgency and importance. Now, this is basically a 4-step process. Step number 1 is to write down everything you want to accomplish in a specific day. And that's because you want to externalize all those sort of worries and tasks that you want to be doing. You do not want any of these important tasks to be lingering in your brain and sort of hampering your focus and concentration. For example, for me, like for today, I have written the following tasks for myself. 5 tasks. Number 1, respond to emails. Number 2, script this very video. Number 3, exercise. Number 4, check Instagram updates. 5, doing groceries. And number 6, decide which books I want to read. Let's move on to step number 2, and this is basically where you draw 4 lines on a piece of paper. So 2 horizontal lines and 2 vertical lines, and you divide these quadrants in terms of importance and urgency. So 2 of these columns would be important and less important, and 2 of the rows would be urgent and less urgent. Now, once you have made these quadrants, you can now finally move on to step number 3, which is the most important step in this entire Eisenhower Matrix program. What's wrong with me? Anyway, so this is where you need to sit down and actually start reflecting over which tasks need to be placed in which quadrant. For example, in my case, the first task for me was to respond to emails, and this is like an important task. I need to do this, but it's not urgent. I do not have to do this today. So for me, this goes into the important but not urgent quadrant. Second of all, we have writing this script, scripting this video. For me, it's an important task, and it's also urgent because I need to have this video ready by the end of this week or next week. So it's an important and urgent task, and hence this one goes into the first quadrant about urgent and important. The third task I need to do is decide which books I want to read. Now, this is also an important task because I love to read books, because that's the single biggest source of self-growth for me. This is an important task, but not that urgent. I could also do it tomorrow or some other day. And in case you are wondering how exactly I decide which books I want to read, I want to mention some amazing platform called Shortform. And by the way, this video is not sponsored. So Shortform is a platform where you can find all book summaries, like 1-page short summaries, and also in detail summaries or even comparisons between different books if you want to read that. And since I have a really long to read list, I do not want to be reading all those books. So the way I filter out which books I want to read is by going to Shortform, reading the 1-page summaries of let's say 1, 2, or 3 books that I want to be reading, and then if that summary seems interesting to me, then I will go ahead and purchase that very book and invest my time into that. So it works as an absolutely amazing book filtering program. And second of all, I also use Shortform if I have already read a book, but I want to refresh some core concepts from that book, like to be used in my videos or on my social media platforms, etc. And this is where I will go back to the 1-page summary, read the summary, and refresh all that information. Now, Shortform is not sponsoring this video. However, I have managed to get an affiliate link for you guys. If you sign up using my link, you will get 20% off on the annual subscription and also a 5-day free trial. Now, once you have sorted out all these different tasks into their respective quadrants, now you can finally move on to the last step, which is step number 4. And this is where you sort of understand what these boxes or quadrants actually mean. The first one, urgent and important, is actually the most important thing that you have to get done that very day. And this could also be your big bang, as I like to call it, like the one single task which you have to get done the same day. You cannot procrastinate on that, or delay that for later. So yeah, if you get done with this task today, then you have pretty much accomplished your goal for that specific day. The second box is the important but not urgent quadrant, and this means that you can do this task sometime later, which means, and this does not mean that you have to procrastinate on this task, but it actually means that you can do it later, which means you have to set up a schedule in your calendar for when you are going to do that task in the upcoming days. That's important. The third box is the not important but urgent box, and this means that you can delegate the task to someone else. Like, your skills are not necessary for this task. For example, groceries in my case. Can I delegate this task to somebody else, like my brother, my sister, other family members? Can somebody else do that for me, my housemate? Or maybe I can get the groceries delivered through an online app or something like that. The point being that you can delegate this task to somebody else because your skills are not a requirement for this task to be done. And the final most box is the less important and less urgent box, which means that the tasks that you have put inside this box are sort of like a waste of time. For example, gaming for too long, or just mindlessly scrolling on social media, because these are loop habits. You're not getting extreme value from this, but you are doing this task right now, but an hour later you will feel guilty doing that. Even though scrolling on social media and gaming, these are important things, but you don't want to be spending too much time on this, and hence too much time on this, and hence it's less important and less urgent, and you have to be beware of these tasks. That's a wrap for today, Sapiens. Now that was the Eisenhower Matrix, which has literally transformed the entire time management game for me, and I've also stopped studying in medical school for more than 2 hours a day, and here is the link to that very video. So yeah, I'll see you guys on the other side. Take care, peace, and subscribe.